Okay, weekend video, quite rare, but here you go. Gold and silver got smashed. It's almost routine, got smashed this week. I mean, it's a bit significant because we dipped below 4,000. Now, I'm quite surprised we're all the way down here. Starting to get used to it. There are levels below, can always go below 3,600-ish. We'll take a look at that in a second. Silver basically at 55. 55 is everyone can agree 55 is support. You can lose it, go to 50. Some people, I mean, some people saying 45, you can dip below. Obviously, you have stop losses at 50, they could hit that, goes to 40 something. But if you're not going to find support at 50, what's the point? So we'll take a look at everything. I think the metals just at the close went up a little bit. So that wasn't captured by the miners. So the miners look like they underperformed, and they did nonetheless. I do like the medals, especially with a Friday close, high of day here you can see on gold. But when you look at the miners, and for me it's all about the miners. I don't mind the medals going up. I just want the miners to go up. And in fact, I kind of prefer the medals going sideways or even down and the miners going up. That's pretty rare. But most of my money's in the miners. Still, they usually follow each other like 98% of the time, maybe more. So gold, we've got support around 4,000, right? We flushed it. Wasn't the most convincing flush. The next day went sideways, reclaimed 4,000. The day after, Friday, we had a nice bounce. So 4,000 is support. Yes, that includes 3,900 and something. Now, if we start to lose that, I have this little low from down here, 3,900. For me, it's the same thing. I've always had this big fat circle covering 3,900 to 4,100. 4,100 was a level since we went all the way. I know that was the level all the way down there. But yeah, okay, so below 4,100, let's say 3,900 to 4,000, whatever, it's the same thing. 4,000-ish is a level. If we start to lose that, and I'm talking about closing below 3,900, closing near low of day, dollar looks like it wants to break out even more. That's a problem, by the way. Then yeah, there is a level below. I don't really see anything obvious once you start going down below 3,900, until you start to hit. I mean, there's a bit of sideways action here. And then when you look at where that is, taking into account how long it would take to get there, it's like 3,600 and something. So I'm going to say 3,600. Everyone sees this 3,500 breakout. This is a big one. I think even the most, I don't want to say the most bearish, but people who've been bearish and correctly so, right? Saying we can go down to 3,500. I haven't seen many price targets below 3,500. And yeah, you could do 3,400. It's the same thing, right? So you could just take this little circle and put it there. It's the same thing. But to go there, you already have to crack 3,600, let alone take out 3,900. That can happen in a liquidity squeeze. So I recognize these levels, right? But it's quite hard to imagine it getting there because we have done a lot of downside action already. And I reckon it only takes 1 or 2 days of price action to suggest, hey, the low is in. We don't have that yet though. Okay. And I also want some confirmation from the miners. So to summarize, and it's a bit of a scattered speech right now. Resistance, we don't need to talk about resistance. We don't deserve to, but it's gonna be, this descending. Like you'd have to go all the way up 4,300. Obviously, you got this last high up here, 4,000, almost 400, 4,350. I think you'd failed just before then. You got this descending. So I'm gonna say 4,300 is your resistance. Otherwise, support is gonna be, forget 4,000. It's gonna be 3,950 slash 3,900. Like this little $50 range down here. That's your support, your first level of support. After that, 3,000. Depends how long it takes, but let's say 3,600. Let's just say 3,600. Again, plus or minus $50. And once you start losing that, 3,500, 3,400. I think that hopefully covers that. Let me just stick this thing down here because that's also a level. And then you got that level 3,650 there. That's gold support. Silver, a little bit more convincing on the support just because of how significant 55 is over here on the horizontal. We had three coalescing support zones. You had this, which is quite rare for me, descending support, one, two, and then three kind of hit that. Then you got this horizontal, like I just mentioned, 35-ish. And then you got this ascending, which is pretty strong. We hit it there, but we don't touch it in a long time. So I don't know. But yeah, 55. If we go back down, start to lose 55, well, actually, the real support is here. It's 54.3. So I'm going to say 54. What I should do is just move this down. Yeah, okay. 50. So between 54 and 55.5, if I'm allowed to say that. If you start to lose that, then you got this sort of level here. You see that resistance there on these candles, and then boom, you break out and you come back down and retest. It's 50, and it's also a nice number. Okay, let's take this. We're not going there for like several days at least. 50 after that, and then it's going to be the low of this congestion area, which is there, 46. So for me, it's 46, 50, and then 54 to 55.5, which is kind of where we are now. On the way up, resistance is going to be here, 61.4. That's going to be easy if we have a nice green day, right? We're closing the high of day. But obviously, we had the Iranian action. So normally, you're supposed to have gold and silver down, which doesn't make sense, but we live in that kind of world. But anyway, if we go up, right, forget the news. If we go up, then 61.5 is your first level. After that, honestly, nothing till 70. You're obviously going to find some resistance on the way because you can't just go straight through 61.5 to 70. But that's probably going to be based on, I don't know, like 5 minute candles, the dollar finding support, maybe gold having its own resistance. I judge it more on those rather than trying to force resistance out of silver. I think it's just pretty simply 70 once you take out 61.5. But good luck taking out 61.5. Like, no, it could do that, go up and then come back down, find support, reclaim, that kind of thing. But again, at the moment, I'm not in the mood to entertain that idea too much. Like you'd have to really go up and then come back, retest, and then you can. But with all these upside things, I've just kind of lost the motivation to entertain that thought too much. But those are resistance points, 61.5 and 70. Let's look at DXY because that's been really significant. Now that should go up on Monday given the Iranian action, so that should be pressure on the metals. Should, but things are priced in and a bit upside down these days. Wasn't the worst close. And once you take out this high, 101.8, it doesn't take much to go test 102. So basically 102. And if you're going to do that, you might as well close above it and then on to the next one. So I'm going to start extending these. Here you go, is the resistance from last time. Why would that have changed? And yeah, that's 100 and sort of 3.5-ish, just below, and then 104.5-ish, just above. It's kind of that stuff there. But anyway, first objective would be to claim 102 as support, let alone resistance. Got to take it out. So there you go. Long term, dollar goes down, DXY index goes down. It's just short term, it goes up in this liquidity stress moment. And also, again, US dollar, Japanese yen, this looks like it's just going to break out. It just really looks like it, and it will. This is a big weighting, the DXY. Euro US dollar, unable to reclaim support, popped its head above, closed below prior support, acting as resistance. So that should start going back down, and then I don't know, probably to 111, 110, something like this. So euro dollar down, US dollar, Japanese yen up, DXY up, metals down. But I reckon the metals will not go down too much, like percentage wise. I think, we have been smashed in the face repeatedly for weeks. There's only, like it's going to be hard to keep going to the same degree. So, and at one point we're going to hit support and fundamentals will take over, right, from this short-term trading. Okay, let's look at the miners. GDX doesn't look as good as the metals because we had that little pump after hours, I believe. These are not the type of candles that for me suggest the bottom is in. Like those are better, right? And we did have a nice strong bounce all the way up to resistance. That's what I mean by like moving up to descending resistance. And then I was pretty bullish there. I mean, not exactly here, but when I started to see this, I thought, okay, the bottom is it, right? I didn't think we'd come all the way back down. And then when we started to trade these type of candles, I thought, Jesus, really? Although we were outperforming the gold and silver, right? They'd already made new lows, so miners did outperform, and they have, if you compare them to what they should usually be trading at. Like if gold is down 2-3%, GDX should be down 5-6. Silver down 8%, you'd expect the miners to be down 15, 20 or something, and in the end they're down 4. So at least we got that going for us on the way down. But that is not bottom action for me. You can get a bunch of weird candles. Like, look at that. There's that candle, this like shooting star usually suggests going down. But in the end, it was like a huge up move. So I do like my technicals, but deep down, it can be a bit irrelevant, especially if the fundamental picture's on your side, which it is, but it hasn't helped thus far. So, especially if we have a down day for metals on Monday with the Iran escalation, straight away you're going to start hitting, the 72.5, which is clear support. We've also got this ascending, it's very important support over here. So you can see it's the low from there. We hit it twice, one, two, and you got this ascending. We flush it next level here. Pretty simple, 68. I don't see anything at 70. I don't care how nice the number is. I don't know if we get there in one go. That might take 1 or 2 or 3 days. But then you'd start losing the ascending. And then it's a bit like gold, there's no clear support after that. What's the level? Like 3,900 flush. It's 3,600. And that's kind of what this would be, I guess. But you'd probably have that little sideways action here. Like you'd probably want to buy before, that sort of 3,400 slash 3,500 level, which is so obvious, the breakout zone. It could end up being bought just before. So 3,600 on gold. It could be something like buying here on the GDX, you know. And you don't want to be too greedy in a wait. So far, that's been the best thing. Being greedy for the buyers on the way down, waiting at very rock bottom prices has been the right strategy. But imagine waiting this much and then you just miss it by like 3 millimeters and up it goes. And then you don't want to chase it because you think it's going to go double bottom again. But no, it was a V bottom. But okay, 1 or 2 days at a time. So for now, I'm looking for this here little 72.5. Do we flush it? Do we close below it? And if we do we keep going? What's the DXY doing? What's gold and silver doing? That would be a down day for the metals and miners, of course, and an up day for gold. The other, I'm not going to cover them all because they all look the same. So GDX, GDXJ, same sort of stuff. Okay, here we have a little extra support. Well, no, it's the same thing. Once you start losing 94, boom, down you go to this horizontal. It's basically the next horizontal level. I think it's time to clean up some of these charts. Um, it proves how much of uncharted territory it is for me. I didn't think we'd go this low. These are lines I drew in ages ago, I reckon. I didn't think they'd come in handy again. I like to leave my workings like old school maths tests. But I think the nearest horizontal medium term is always the best. So if you start to lose GDXJYs, if you start to lose 94, you're gonna go back down here, 88. Um, and then we'll see. We'll take it from there. But like the others, SIL, the silver miners, I like the horizontals at the moment. So 74, 74.5 probably. Yeah, just below. So you start to lose that, close below that. Boom, next level. 70. In this case, we do get a big number. 70. Clearly, 70 is the next level in SIL. I'd like to see where Pan America, First Majestic, and all those would be once you go there. And there still is another one. J'ai fait ma vidéo, maman, j'ai fait ma vidéo. Fuck, j'ai fait ma vidéo. Je le dis, ciao. Still is another one. If you keep going below 70, then there's the next one around 62, 63. That's quite a way down though. At that point, you'd have gold. I don't know where you'd have gold or silver. Like, what's silver out there? 46? Yeah, probably. Because you've seen silver move quite a lot, right? Silver goes down from like 60 to 55 in like one morning. So imagine going down just for SIL. Can imagine moving down from let's just say from here, which is you still have to get there, from 74 all the way down to 62. It's like 16%. Yeah, you probably have silver in the low 40s. Do you know what I mean? Who thinks that's gonna happen? Even the bearish guys out there, you really think you can get SIL in the low 60s? Man, if you do, and it starts to go back up and really go back up to 120 in like a year and a half, or whatever it would be, like that's it. You retire, right? Should be. Anyway, at least the levels are clear for me. That's what I'm looking at. Three simple levels. All right, quickly, SILJ. I said I wasn't going to look through them, but it's the same thing, right? One, two, three. Okay, let's look at the actual portfolio. Ah, it's annoying. Newmont. I remember every time I talk about Newmont, I'd speak about up here where it was, what it was doing. Earnings were good, and it shouldn't have been below that, and it should have gone to new highs. And here we are, right? And what happens on Monday with the Iran war? Probably go back down, venture in the 90, sub 93, 92 point something. And if we close below it, boom, there's your next level, 89-ish. And after that, well, it's also got three lines, I guess. One, two, three, four. Yeah, those are the levels. Let's see. One thing though, I'm looking at a lot of these miners, and a lot of them are 50%, 60%. I started to look at one or two juniors, 60%. I don't know if there was 70%, maybe, but more than 60% down is huge. Newmont, what is that? It's from the absolute peak all the way up here down to where we are, 30%. It's bad, but it ain't that bad. Like even all the way down here, you're at 44. We're talking about, I've seen quite a few. They're in the 60s. They're like, that's imagine Newmont in the low 50s. That's a lot of these juniors. I'm not at all thinking about going into juniors. I don't even think I ever will, actually. I think you can make enough money in the seniors by selling, trimming, buying, nibbling, or whatever some of you guys doing hard sells or 50% out, all out. I'm into the nibbles because I don't have that aggressive conviction. But you just don't need to be in the juniors, right? There's just so much downside and the upside of, I don't even think it was that much. Even at the peak of the bull market, it was like I saw 15-20% days, but I saw that in EXK and CDE. In fact, I think they outperformed. So okay, so Newmont, there you go. Those are your levels. It's still outperforming its peers. And Kaneko has been weaker than Newmont, it's come down, but at least it's got clearly defined levels at this point. So clearly 150, nice big number. Hit it several times, one, two, three, four. Also recently, you start to close below 150. Next level I've got here. I think that's pretty obvious, right? There you got one test, two, boom, breakout from there. That's 140, maybe just below. After that, we'll see about after that. I don't think we're going to go after. Maybe actually, then it's going to be here. I think I need to straighten out these lines. What's this one? I have to go to the weekly. Jesus. Whoa. Okay, that's worth having. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, 130 basically, right? You want to get in just in front of that one. Huge long-term ascending resistance should become support. So you lose 150, you go test 140, you lose 140, already it needs to be slapped in the face, 130. It's also got this triple breakout, one, two, and then three, boom. I don't think we go below 130, like 120, 129, yeah, but I don't think you're ever gonna see 120 in a Knico, the one which has like fantastic all-in sustaining costs and has gotten cheaper as it goes up because of the margins and all that. Come on, at some point you just gotta, you know, buy just for the general principle and forget short-term technicals, which is rich coming from me. Right, Barrick, support. There you go. That's what it is. It's 36. Wrong line. It's actually coming from here. The resistance there. One, two, three. And then, okay, here we missed it, but then we just tested it recently. Barrick is pretty resilient compared to its friends. So I do like it. But okay, 36 is support. Resistance is going to be the descending and the horizontal. So 44, we're not going to get there. Next one is going to be, yeah, this little gap here. I think I sort of cheated, put it in the middle. 34, maybe just below, and then after that, the bottom of this whole congestion period, about 30. There you go. Wheaton made a new low since that March low, so that's 100 and let's say 6.5. So there's your first level. It's the recent low, basically, simple. After that, it's going to be this area, which is pretty clear. I'm going to make a, I think it's more that area. You can see it was resistance support a bit more. Ah, $100. Yeah, of course. Maybe just below, but don't be too greedy. Because Wheaton at 100, where was it? 160. That's quite the drop. And it's quite a good business model. And it's making good money also, like guaranteed streams. No, isn't that how it works? Aren't they the best ones to buy on the way down? Like senior royalties. They just make money no matter what the costs are and all this. So going from 160 to 100, give me a break. That's a buy. That's an add at least. So 106.5, then 100, then 92.5 in case it keeps going down. I'm fully aware that things can keep going down. I just don't think it's going to happen. But I should always have a plan and know where it is. Like imagine it's trading at 95. Like I didn't think it was going to lose 100. It's at 95. What do I do now? Well, I know the next level. I should have cash on the sidelines, and I do usually know my nibble amount by default. So at least you got to have that in mind. Royal Gold. This one's come down quite a bit, but it's like a new introduction to my portfolio. And it's down since adding, of course. So first level is going to be 195.5. It's a bit stronger than the others, actually. If we go down, take out 195, close below it, next level. Jeez. Mm, I don't think I was prepared for that level. Maybe. I'll put it in. I'm not as sure. Yeah, but otherwise you got the low from down here, of course. I just don't think we'd get there. That's a big move down from where we are now. Okay, imagine we lose this 195, 12% in a royalty senior. It's asking a lot. You can be greedy on the way down too. Maybe more like this low from this period, maybe, which could coincide with that ascending I just put in. I'm gonna put something like this. I'd probably nibble that. Yeah, I'm looking for nibbles if we break down to new lows. I'm not nibbling the recent lows because because I think if we flush a new level, we're really looking at stronger and stronger support in the metals. Like silver would be, I don't know, you're probably 55s or lower again. No, by here you'd be like close to 50. What the hell? Gold would be like 3,000, probably below 3,900. Yeah, down here probably 3,600 or something. This massive breakout would be that's the next one, isn't it? I don't really have many thick lines. This is one from ages ago. That would be your 3,500 breakout in gold, clearly. Oh, I'd buy that in Royal Gold. Next one, Franco Nevada. I don't feel like that's as bad. Already retesting up here. Yeah, this one's also outperforming. Or maybe it's the royalties in general. Okay, so resistance is going to be this sort of descending by the time we get there. It'll probably take 2 or 3 days, which I don't think is going to happen. But if it does, it'd be about there. I wouldn't sell anyway. Or maybe I would trim this time because my problem is that I haven't been trimming enough. Even on these small bounces, it would have done a big difference. We've had like 2 or 3 bounces, like de decent 15, 20% moves. If I trimmed and bought back a bit harder, would have made a big difference. If we lose support, support is around 204, just above maybe. Next level, I don't know again. I'm gonna say 190. It's the low from here. Resist a little bit of support, I would expect. But the one below is a lot stronger. That's your 180. Okay, 190, 180. 200, I don't think is a level. I think the level is really here, 204, and you lose that, you go straight through 200. Maybe not the same day. Metallic had a huge day. Don't really know why. Could have been news, but it's been one of the stronger ones, and it continues to be. Reminds me a bit of Aya Silver. It's like or Aya Gold Silver. It just comes all the way down and then bounces strong. And here again, from its sort of 650 zone, boom. Resistance is going to be 8, so 799. I should probably put a sell in for that because it's very unlikely to stay above 8 forever from now on, right? If you're selling at 799, what are the chances that it just never goes below 799? It's incredibly small, so that would be a sell. On the support, looks like 630. Well, like even 650, but I would say 630, but your real support is 6. You lose 6, you're probably going to make a big move down because that's clear support. I'd probably do this 520-ish. That's probably going to be a bit higher. But anyway, you know what? Yeah, it probably is going to be around here, 540 or something. And then you'd fill the gap. But I'm not going to buy Metalla, even though it's been really impressive. I'm just not in the mood to buy to this particular mid-tier junior royalty. It's not my thing, not my specialty. But definitely cognizant that it's been very strong. All right, mid-tier golds. Not the best candles, but they've all got the same ones, except for maybe the royalties. Support is going to be here, 1475. You lose that. Well, that's your next level, 13. But I don't see 14 as a clear level. Might be a bit. a bit because of these candles here, resistance, support, but and it's psychological. But no, I wouldn't be buying at 14. I'd probably nibble at here, but there's probably better buys out there. I'm not really looking to add to Iron Gold. The only one here I'm looking to add is Equinox just because it's been down so much. But I've bought that actually. It's one of the few ones I've actually been adding to. It's usually the senior gold miners or the royalties or some of the best silver miners, but the mid-tier gold miners, although they've got a lot of percentage moves in them, I haven't been adding on the way down except Equinox. But there you go. I am gold just below 15. Then I go to 13. I kind of ignore the 14s a bit. And if you keep going down, then 11. But I don't think we get there. I really don't think we get there. Equinox, um, week one, I don't want to say it's outperforming, but it's stopped underperforming the way it has been for a while. Recently, just very recently. Surprised it bounced after these two red candles, but hasn't reclaimed anything. Support is your last low, that's 920. You start to lose 920. Then maybe you do go down to what is that? There's another one of those ascending resistance. I'm not sure about this. You see this ascending resistance here? I don't know. But if it coincides with another level, it's like by the time it gets there, it's 850. Hmm. Like this is your obvious level, your first obvious level of support. But I think before you get there, 750, that's a bit much. You know what? Let's expand this here. Hold on. You start to lose this level here, this 920. Where are you gonna go? Maybe there's something here, like a little breakout. That's $8 basically. So just above $8. This, yeah. So if you lose that, there's three levels. There's this potential ascending resistance. I don't know if it would act like support. It should, but it might not be immediate or obvious. And by the time it starts to do that, it might end up being this kind of level. So I'd say just above eight, you buy, and it sort of combines these two. And if we keep going down, then this clear 750 level, which I don't think we'll get to, but you never know. All right, Eldorado. I bought this once and haven't come back yet. I've been stuck with the other ones. This is I think it's my newest position, but it's one of the smallest one. One of the smallest ones. Looking a little stronger than the others, only by a few millimeters. Resistance is going to be 36, so 35.99 in case you want to sell that. Um, you can get rid of that. That line is irrelevant. Support is going to be 28. After that, yeah, it's true. You got something at 26.5, but that's so close to 28, it might not be much. But then your first real level after that, 28 loss is going to be 24.50. After that, it's going to be this, which looks like a breakout zone. That's 22. Where does that come from? That's the high from over there. Nothing too dramatic. But at that point, you've come from over 50 to almost 20. So that's a way more than 50% drop. So I'm not going to look into support below even that. Those levels kind of make sense to me for now. B2 gold, red. Not sure why. Everyone had a green day that day, but not by too much. Close at low of day. First level is going to be the last low. That's 380. After that, 370. Yeah, in fact, I'd say 370 is your more obvious level because of those two candles. You start to lose that, you're going to go to the low of this congestion zone, which is actually below 330, I would say. And then you're in the low threes, back in the low threes with B2 gold. We were at the sixes before. It's I mean they've all been smashed. It's just you're really losing this whole period here, since August, like this breakout from 380 to 4, 5, 6, and even almost 650. And then you're all the way back down again. Incredible. Harmony, okay, that's got some way to go before it starts losing its support of the last couple of months. It's a little higher actually, which is nice. First level's the recent low, 14, let's say 30. Once you lose that, you're going to go visit 13. 13's a level, thereabouts, give or take 10 cents. Once you start to lose that, well, it's probably here, $10. That's a big number. And then you're going to go visit your $8. And I don't think that's going to happen either, but I'm just putting them in so they're already there in case things go crazy. At least I didn't need to create the lines. SPSW, Platinum Palladium. This one's really been smashed from 21. Yeah, it's another more than 50% drop. Way more. Resistance can be the descending, like many of them. Support is going to be the recent low. That's 840. 840. I thought anything under 10 was a steal. 840, and you could crack that on Monday. Power and Palladium have come down a lot, but they could do another little level drop, and then they really are at support. And SPSW, that support would be $7. You could probably get something at 8. So you lose 840, maybe there's something at 8, but basically 7 for sure. And if we look real quick, I didn't think I'd do this, but Platinum Palladium, that's what I mean, like this level here. You could just do one more little flush, dollar goes up and the metals go down and Platinum Palladium, and then you really have come all the way back down to, like 2025 August. Do you know what I mean? All the way back down. Like you go down another level, and then then you're really at the absolute lows. There's like gold 1000 kind of stuff. It's ridiculous. Okay, next one, and platinum is not that much different. Aris mining. Um, yeah, this one, recent low 14. You lose that. I don't know where you go because you probably go all the way back down to 12. Another one that just ignores an entire dollar unit. I think 13 is irrelevant, but you need a lot to bring this down. This has been one of the stronger ones for months on the way up and on the way down. And then, of course, you lose that, you go to 11. But I don't want to talk about that just now because it's hard to fathom anything next to $12 in Aris mining. Right, let's do the silver stocks. Pass, Pan America. Looks like everything else. Recent low. So just under 44, you start to close, daily close below the recent low, 43.80, let's say. Okay, there's a gap fill there, 42.60. Okay, fine. That's a little bit of a gap. It's worth considering. Hopefully that's what happens. It goes, close the gap, comes back up and closes above 44. That would be a bullish reversal. But if it really is just going down, because silver and gold going down, because dollar's going up, and yields, I guess, we don't even know if they're going up or down. It looks like it's the dollar that's really in charge of this move in commodities. Next level is going to be here then, isn't it? 40, of course. It's going to be 40. Jesus, I never thought I'd see a 3 handle, a 30 handle on Pan America. But yeah, this is what you'd get because it's a big number. It's also resistance, support. It's kind of a bit obvious. Next one would be 36, and I think it's blasphemy to talk about anything below 30, 36 for Pan America. Let's not be completely ridiculous. Is there anything here, by the way? No, we lost that anyway. All right, there's your Pan America support. You can see I'm not really doing resistance here. First, Majestic has even stronger support here. God, they would love to crack that, wouldn't they? Your support at 1570, you start to lose that. Boom, boom, boom. Next level 14, maybe just a bit above 14. You start to lose that. Actually, I don't even know if this is a level. It was there, but then this breakout, it could go below 13. Like it might end up being something like 12. All right, I'll leave 13. Let's see if we even get there. Because honestly, if you're at 13 on silver, in First Majestic, silver's probably under 50. And at that point, I really think that I'd be buying a lot of silver. I hope I would be. I know that when you're looking at, you're like, oh my God, is it over? Is it never going to go up again? You'd start questioning even basic stuff. But I hope I have it in me to just add aggressively, like start using up all the rest of my cash, maybe selling some, like, I don't know, Franco Navarra just to buy CDE, something aggressive. You could still do that. Uh, Quite a few things I could do. I just end up liquidating my tech stocks like 3D printing, chow, space stocks. Don't know if I do that. I usually should have enough cash, even if we get back down there, but I'd be running pretty dry. Okay, those are levels. It's kind of horizontals across the board. CDE. Right, we lose 15. Where do you go after 15? You go to actually just below 14, 13.60. But okay, maybe 14 ends up being your bounce zone. But in case you flush a little lower, 13.60 should be the low. If you go even lower than that, Jesus. I never thought I'd see single digit CD, but I don't think we will. If you start losing that, you do have a little breakout there at 12. It is a little breakout zone here, even though it looks small. It's breakout, boom, you break above it, you hold support, and then you never turn back and you go into the 20s. Maybe I think I should actually respect 12. It's more powerful than it looks. And then the low of that congestion period is basically 11. Let's do that. Let's do $1 units, kind of. And if you lose that, there's this huge one at 10. Anyway, I'm not going to draw that in because I don't think we get there. So it's a bunch of horizontal, almost $1 incremental moves down, let's say. Next is Heckler. Is that slightly stronger than the others? Let's delete this. We'll give it a bigger range. Resistance on the way up, 17. Support on the way down, 14, just below 14, 1385. You lose 1385, you go here, the low, like this candle there. Let's call it 13. We'll call that 13. Is that a gap fill? Not really. Might as well go to the low. 12. Yeah, 12, 13, 14. Keep it simple. A lot of the silver stocks are like that. EXK. Resistance is going to be about 950. You got the horizontal and you got the descending. Support is going to be 735. You lose that, you're going to go to about 660, give or take 20 cents. Can I say that? It could end up there at 680. You lose that, yes, you've got this at $6. All right, that'll be the last one I put in for EXK. Something like that. This also could be off by a few centimeters. It's hard. Finally, the two last ones. Avino. This one also had a decent close compared to its friends, but not by too much. I'm gonna give it more room. Close the gap there on the way up. Resistance is gonna be, I think, just a bit above 735, 39 or something. Support is gonna be 550. You lose 550. There's a little quick drop off just above 510. So it could just do a little bounce there and close above 550. So this, yeah, this area is a buy between 510 and 550. If we start to close below 5, just going down to 4. And if you lose that, you're going down to, yeah, 3, basically the low of this sideways area. I don't think you get to 3 either. That should be an absolute colossal buy. But for those reasons, I don't think we get there. Finally, I'm not doing any juniors. This has been a long video. Sorry about that. The day will come where I do juniors. I think that day will be when we start to reverse and go up. I'm not really in the mood to. Oh, look at this. Again. Bit of a Metalla. But Aya is the originator of this move. So all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. And now we didn't go all the way down. We didn't go all the way to 22. Instead, we bottom off at 24. This for me is a halfway point, 2650. That's now rendered obsolete, I believe. We've just gone through it a few times like it's nothing. But yeah, next resistance is gonna, and you can see last time we went up here, we actually crossed 30. That's how strong we were until the market, the sector, the news brought us down. But looks like it wants to go back up to 30. And you know what? It could cross 30 and go test 370, 380. So resistance remains $30 slash higher actually. This is just a hold for me. It looks absolutely destined for higher prices. It's just waiting for the market to allow it. All right, there you go. It wasn't a great week. It wasn't the worst close, but it looks like Monday will end up being another flush attempt. I want to start seeing miners outperform metals on the way down. I want to start seeing the metals go down a little less. And even if the dollar goes up, I want to see the metals not go down that much, or maybe even go green with the dollar. That would be good. Until eventually we have, rate cuts being priced in a bit more than rate hikes. As I think it's all this war stuff, isn't it? This guy, people are starting to believe that he's really going to hike rates, and I don't think even if he does, it's going to be like 1 or 2 max, and it's going to be less than what is fundamentally needed. So the fundamentals don't change. Just got to wait for the market to see why we are right. Can take time, can be painful. All right, enjoy your weekend.